The God is a Geek podcast, your new favourite podcast, about Bournemouth and Watford sealing promotion to England's top flight, Jared Leto's seemingly much maligned interpretation of Batman's nemesis, and Orville is without his best friend as Keith Harris flies up to the big ventriloquist nest in the sky. I am your host, Colm, and with me this week is... And it seems quite apt that I give you this type of introduction as we have a massive fight at the weekend, which I know you're very excited about, but I'm getting ahead of myself because it's the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get and what you don't is better yet. He's the women's pick. He's the men's regret. And if you gamble against him, you made a bad bet now. It's Nailz. It's Dan Naylor.
Hello, Colm. How you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, Nailz. How are you? It's just the two of us this week. Yeah, as I said, I know you're very excited about Pacquiao Mayweather at the weekend.
What?
Nailz?
Yeah.
Are you aware
that that's boxing?
Boxing, yeah.
Yeah.
What you do every Saturday night, you know, in the gym, sparring with the lads?
Oh, yeah, totally. If you ever meet me in real life, I am ripped.
Yeah, you are an absolute powerhouse. Nailz, right? I'm not gonna dilly-daddle any longer because do you know what it's time for? We're flipping the script this week because games, yeah, they're fine, I suppose, whatever, but people want to know about superhero films. Calvin's Movie Minutes. We're just flipping the fucking script. We don't
Why
give a
not?
shit.
Just fuck shit up. Who's going to stop us?
Exactly. Nailz, I believe you saw the Avengers 2, Avengers Age of Ultron film.
No, I didn't.
I thought you were going to see it.
No, I think that was the other Dan.
Ah, okay. Do you want to just pretend you saw it and give me your reaction? What did you think of it?
It was great. There was quite a lot of fighting. There's like this one scene where just about for 2 minutes, just straight action. And it's got Iron Man in it. It's got the Hulk. Yeah. It's got Thor and the other one. And after the credits, like all Marvel films, stay till after the credits because there is a fantastic after credits scene. Gets a bit saucy, but it's well worth the watch.
Funny you should mention an after credits scene, right? Because, and I'm not too sure if it's basically right before the film began. I saw Avengers: Age of Ultron, and there was I don't know, what do you call them people who work in cinema employees? Usher. He before the film started, before any of the trailers start, which actually, cinemas nowadays, right? You go into the cinema and you watch a film, it's like all of the trailers aren't trailers, they're fucking ads for mobile companies. And it's just like there was one trailer. I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong, Nailz. What's it like in Manchester? But it's just like, do you want to join this mobile company? Here's a lovely little ad, or here's a fucking ad for moisturizer. And there was one trailer, Batman vs Superman. It was the trailer everyone saw last week. But the Usher came in before that, which it was kind of weird. Like, he walked in and kind of just shouted up, "Just so you know, lads, you don't have to stick around after the credits because there's no after credits scene." And when he said that, there was a bit of a chuckle. You know, there was the cinema, no, it didn't erupt in laughter, but there was a kind of a ha ha ha. This man knows that we're all going to stay around because it's a fucking Marvel film. So when the film ended and the credits began, and you know, with Marvel films, you have like, the first credits is kind of the flashy animated credits, Robert Downey Jr. And then there's like a little scene. Then you have the big long credits, and then there's kind of another scene at the end of that. Yeah. Well, there was the big flashy credits, and then there was a scene there, but there was no scene at the very end because myself and my friend that were there, we were watching it, and the credits started, like the proper credits started to roll, and people started to leave, and we were like, he was messing, wasn't he? the guy who came in was like, this is a bit strange. And yeah, some people were sticking it out, kind of, and judging by their faces, were thinking the exact same thing. Why are you leaving for, you dickheads? There's going to be something else here. And then people came in, started cleaning up around us, and another usher actually said, seriously, lads, there actually isn't anything. It's just so you know. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know, it was a real kick in the teeth, because I don't know, did you see the supposedly leaked after credits scene, which was Spider-Man?
Yes, I saw that. And
apparently that was a fake, but I wanted something similar. It would have been so cool to just get a little glimpse of Spider-Man. Because that after credits scene seemed cool, actually.
Yeah, but apparently they are making a new Spider-Man film, but it's Sony doing it, and it's going to be animated.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember where I read this the other day. Yeah, that's apparently what's going on. So I don't know if that means it's going to be tied into the Avengers, or if there's going to be another Spider-Man film done by Marvel, because I know there was rumours of that, and then he was going to come into the Avengers as well, or if these two are at different times. I don't know, but yeah, apparently that's what's going on.
Yeah, see, the Spider-Man thing is just weird because of the fact that it's like, yeah, because he is a Sony property. Like, Sony own him in terms of films, but there's obviously been a deal made to allow him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it's like, what are Sony getting? Like, are they getting maybe Iron Man to appear in a Spider-Man film or something? I don't know. But okay, Nailz, you didn't see the event. Oh, actually, well, I should say, right? So I saw it. Okay. But here's the kicker. I went in, I paid my money, paid over the average, because...
You fell asleep, didn't you?
You pay for the IMAX. Right?
Oh,
and the
God.
IMAX was in 3D, which I fucking hate 3D.
Yep,
it's annoying,
3D.
it's darker, and it's just gimmick, and I just don't like it. However, I do like the IMAX, the big screen and the massive sound and stuff. I saw the first hour and 20 minutes, and it was really good. The first hour and 20 minutes, I'd highly recommend to anyone. Then, for the last hour, like, I wasn't asleep for the whole hour. I was probably asleep for somewhere in between 5 and 7 minutes, as just a ballpark estimate. But those 5 or 7 minutes were broken up. So let's say I saw, I might have seen 10 minutes falling asleep for like 90 seconds, woke up, saw another bit, fell asleep for another couple of minutes. But by the end, it's like, when you're watching something at home and maybe you kind of falling in and out of sleep, it's like you might as well have just fallen asleep for the entire hour, because you wake up, you're disorientated, you're like, who the fuck is that? What's going on here? Who's this person? And yeah, so I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I just love that you watched the first hour and 20, then basically missed an hour, and then just sat and watched the credits. Even though you'd been told there was fuck all at the end of them.
Yeah, I live a peculiar life. I can't explain it. Have you seen anything this week, Nailz? Any television shows, films, anything?
No, I don't think so. Not really. No, I was away at the weekend, so no, I've not seen anything. I do want to go see the Avengers. I think I'm going to check it out next week, hopefully. Yeah, that's my plan.
First hour and a half, really good.
I'll let you know how the rest of it is next week.
Please do. Yeah, please do. Will you let me know what Tropico 5 is like on the PlayStation 4?
I can let you know what Tropico 5 is like on PlayStation 4. So, for those of you who don't know, Tropico, the series, is a city builder set on a tropical island, and you basically play El Presidente, you can, and see, you start with a small island and, low population, couple of buildings, a farm, and you build it up into whatever you want. So you could make it an economic powerhouse of factories and industry, or you could, make a tourist destination and get, loads of entertainment venues and things like that. Mm-hmm. But all the while, you're managing the different factions on your island. So you could have a democracy, but that might mean you're voted out of power. Or you could become a dictator and rule with military might, so you can piss off all your citizens and you don't have to care what they think, because if they rise up, you just kill them all. Okay. But it's all done. It's very bright, colourful, cheery, very fun. quite funny as well. There's like, you do research and you've got like a number 2 and there's objectives to do that are like export 3,000 units of steel, but they're told in kind of a funny way. Because you also have...
So how are you playing it? Are you playing it as a dictator, or are you ruling in a fair democracy?
Well, you mix it up. In sandbox mode, you kind of just do whatever you want. And there's different eras to progress through. So you start as a colony of an empire. I don't think it actually says what empire it is, but it's clearly British from the over-exaggerated accents. Right. And you can then, you get enough popular support, you can go independent, and then you're in the world wars, and you've got to, side with either the Allies or the Axis, and all play them off against each other to get better prices for your goods and things. And if you piss one of them off too much, they'll come and invade. And then you go through the Cold War, so it's US and Russia, and then modern times. So that's kind of your sandbox. You start at the beginning, you work through. But in the story missions, you kind of have a bit more. You're given a bit more direction. So the idea is you start on this island, and this mysterious order that wants to take over the world kind of tries to recruit you. So you have to prove yourself by, doing X task. So it's becoming, the first task in the first mission is become independent. Okay. But then later on, you've got to stash enough money in your Swiss bank account by skimming it off the top of building profits or performing certain dodgy tasks, kind of thing. So the story gets you to play in different ways. So some, it's better to be a democracy because you want, you get the people inside. But if you're skimming money off the top in a Swiss bank account, they're going to know that you're doing that and get kind of annoyed. So you may need to have...
Is there any way to hide that?
So, well, you can kind of hide it. It only causes a small amount of unrest. But if you keep doing it, or you do it at the expense of... So you put money in your Swiss bank account rather than pay for a hospital, they're going to get annoyed.
Right.
So it becomes a nice balancing act. But yeah, the campaign gets you to play in different ways. And then in story mode, you kind of just do... in sandbox mode, you just kind of do what you want.
Have you any history with Tropico?
Yeah, I loved the first game. That was on PC. I played the first game many years ago, and I've also played, I think, the second briefly, and I've played the fourth as well briefly. So not too much of the recent ones, and only on PC before. It actually works really well with the pad.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to ask you. So, like, it is. I mean, it is your management sim, which obviously does translate very well to the mouse and keyboard. How is it like with the controller?
Well, it works really well. So the face buttons all obviously do different things. Like triangle brings up your build menu, and then that's got different tabs in it, which you can flick left and right using the shoulder buttons, and that will take you through houses, production, entertainment, that kind of thing. And then it's a radial dial off them, so you just select which one you want using the stick and hit X. So that's really quick, really fluid, really easy. The camera's controlled with the sticks, and you can also tilt it if you're holding R2, so the camera controls are pretty fluid. And then if you hold in the left trigger or the right trigger, and then that changes what the face buttons do, so you can bring up all your different menus like diplomacy or trade. I don't know, like the Tropico series, I suppose, is something that I've never really dabbled with myself, mainly because I suppose I wasn't really playing PC games at the time, but it seems like a SimCity, but a SimCity with a bit of personality. That's exactly how I describe it. Is SimCity with a personality. It's all bright, it's all colourful, it looks fantastic, and just the way... So it would have been easy just to have kind of all the style and none of the substance, but it has the substance as well. Like, your city grows really organically. Like, you'll try at the start to go, right, okay, over to that side of the island's going to be agriculture, and over that side's going to be, I don't know, factories. But it never works out like that, because you have to... it just spreads kind of naturally and quite smoothly over all the island, and it's absolutely fantastic fun. And just trying out different ways.
The humor and stuff, right? It does kind of sound actually like, and kind of seeing bits and pieces of gameplay and stuff. It does actually seem pretty cool. Like your review is going up.
It should be today or tomorrow, I think.
Of course, depending on when you're listening to this, I suppose.
Oh yes.
But positive thoughts on Tropico.
Yeah, I would totally recommend it.
What about Mario Kart 8 and its new DLC? Have you positive thoughts on that?
I have. I think it's amazing how well the DLC for Mario Kart 8 has been, given that Nintendo hasn't had much history with DLC in the past.
Yeah, I know.
Personally.
It boggles my mind as well how many Nintendo games have had DLC? Very few. And if they have, they've been pretty lackluster. Whereas the Mario Kart 8 DLC has been just a joy. I mean, across the board, 16 tracks and 6 new playable characters, I think. And however many new vehicles, new wheels, new fucking glider things. And what was it? Was it £12?
I think it was about 12 if you bought them both together, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's funny looking at that and then looking at their Smash Brothers DLC, the first of which comes out today, and you're paying, is it $3.59 or something for Mewtwo?
It's fucking crazy.
It's a joke. And yeah, because all of I actually think some of the tracks that have been in the DLC are the best in the game as well.
Yeah.
It's not like this is cheap stuff, or even the ones that have been, rehashes of older tracks are so well done and given a nice twist. So they're at once familiar and fresh.
Completely. Like the what's the name of the track? The F-Zero track in the new DLC is just incredible. It really is. The Animal Crossing track is fantastic as well. And yeah, as you say, some of the what's the mental track that has you have to go around 7 laps? Baby Park, isn't it?
Oh, Baby Park is just the oval, innit?
It's fucking but it's crazy, and it's really good fun. And it's I don't know, it really is an example of how to do DLC right. It's at a competitive price where for the, I suppose, lack of a better term, I suppose, for the season pass, kind of. I mean, or just the offer to buy the two of them together. It's so worth it. And as you say, the difference between that and the Smash Brothers DLC is fucking astronomical. But the 200cc mode, that wasn't in the DLC, I think, wasn't it? That was just
that's
an
free.
Update.
That's just a free update. Yeah, that is insane. It changes how you look at the tracks, because you actually need to brake now, which you normally could just get around a corner by drifting, I've found. But now you need to brake, because otherwise you will go, you're far too wide in a corner. I tried it on the Electrobike Park. Is it Electrobike? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Do you know the one with basically it's an oval again, but it's got all the jumps on it.
Yeah.
And you just fly off, and you'll skip half of the back end, the back straight, because you'll just go off one of the jumps so fast and so far. It's ridiculous.
When I downloaded the DLC pack 2, I said, well, look, let's have a go off the 200cc as well and just see how we get on. Holy shit. As you said, it destroyed me. I was banging into walls. I was just getting tossed everywhere. It was just fucking chaos. And I was like, all right, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to play 200cc. So let's bring it back a bit and let's just go for 150. And it's amazing how 150 just, it doesn't feel slow as such, but it just, obviously you have more control over the vehicle in 150cc because you're just used to it more. But yeah, as you say, it does change how you look at the tracks and how you approach corners. Because you can't just go fucking bombing down the straight into the corner, bang into the power slide. You do have, as you say, have to use your brake. The AI also, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the AI seems to be a bit better in 200cc. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't think I've played enough of it to notice that, I must admit.
But it's just, just a joy. If you have a Wii U and you have Mario Kart 8, for fuck's sake, get the DLC. It's brilliant. It's just fantastic. If I could have one criticism, it would be that the characters, I mean, there's dry Bowser, but there's no dry, what's his name, dry Bones. Like, I don't know, so some of the characters have been a little bit, like even in the first DLC pack, wasn't it Peach, something Peach? Like, was it one of them?
Cat Peach, wasn't it?
Was it Cat? Was she in the DLC? Yeah, but it was just like...
Link was pretty cool in the first one.
Link was cool. Link was cool. And like, do you know, having the Animal Crossing crew in this as well, that's pretty cool. But it would be nice. Like, I would love it if Mario Kart had a bit more of, I suppose, something similar to your Smash Brothers roster. No, even if it was just aesthetic. Do you know, it's kind of nice to have a bit more character choice from different. Yeah, because I mean, there are quite a few. Is it about 16 characters in Mario Kart 8 if you've got both packs of DLC? But you've got like 4 Marios in there, two or three Peaches. Yeah, like pink, gold Peach and Metal Mario and fucking Gold Mario, and I don't know. Like
that said, I tend to just use the same character all the time. So
who's yours? Who's your character?
Mostly Luigi.
My boy.
Because I much prefer him to Mario, but I have been using Dry Bowser actually in the new DLC.
Do you know who actually? Do you know who I like is Isabelle, from the new DLC.
Oh yeah.
I myself and Isabelle, we like that. But yeah, it's I suppose it's an example of paying for a product and getting a good product. You know, I'm trying to do it, Nailz. I'm going to get there. Like when
I hadn't even realised that.
When Nailz, you know, it's hard times. It is hard times, you know, credit crunch, recession, and all that shit. And when you give your money to a developer or publisher or digital distribution service, you want a good product, because everything in life can't be free, can it, Nailz?
No, it can't. And of course, which takes us to this week's talking point.
Flawless!
Which is the Paid Mods fiasco over on Steam with Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because, was it late last week? They announced...
It was like Friday.
Was it Friday?
Yeah.
They announced that they were going to introduce paid mods on Steam. So mods made in Steam, through Steam Workshop, the developers... Well, not developers, I guess. The creators could charge for them.
Yeah, it was their choice whether they wanted to charge, and they could charge as little as 25 cents, and I believe there was no cap on what the maximum price could be.
Right, but I mean, I guess to start with, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think of paid mods?
So I've no real issue with someone who has created something getting paid for it, like, because some mods are fucking incredible. Some mods fix the game. You know, you look at something like a Dark Souls, or what else was there? Not D4, Deadly Premonition, like that too. Like just poor PC ports and people kind of fixing them. Even like Watch Dogs, that was like from when that was released, what we saw at E3 and what was released, it looked quite different. And you got there were mods out there to improve graphics, things like that. And obviously you have the stupid mods like making Thomas the Tank Engine the dragon in Skyrim. Shit like that. You know, and I have no issue with someone getting paid for it, right? It's just if you're taking your buddy out every day for lunch, Nailz, every single day you take him out to a nice kind of carvery, right? Maybe a tenner, maybe somewhere between 10 and 12 pounds. You take him to the carvery, and every day I suppose he might mix it up. He might get lamb one day, he might get turkey and ham the next, maybe he has a bit of salmon the next day, and every day, or maybe at the beginning, he reaches for his wallet and Nailz says, no, I'll look after this. You're okay. I'll pay for it. You're fine. And he goes, okay, no problem. Next day, he tries to pay again. You go, no, it's fine. Put your money back in your pocket. It's okay. I'll get this. And this goes on forever and ever. And then one day, Nailz goes, are you going to pay for your dinner? You know, I've been getting it free all along. And that's that's somewhat of an analogy. That was
a laboured analogy. I'm sorry, Colm.
That's somewhat of an analogy to what's going on. Because it's very difficult to ask the general public to start paying for something that they've been getting free all along. So especially with something like Skyrim, which has been out for, what was it? It was 11, so 3.5-ish years. You know, like I don't know. Like, even the fact that, say, some mods are released and people install the mods, and let's say the mod isn't supported anymore by the modder, then, I don't know, an update in the game, it might break. With the mod installed, it might break because of the update, and I don't know, things might be a bit shit. And you just delete the mod and you move on with your life because you just got it for free. If you're after paying for it, that's fucking a bit of a sketchy area. Do you know?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, actually.
Like, what are your thoughts on the paying for mods?
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think if someone's putting that amount of work into something, I don't see any problem with them charging for it if the original developers happy for them to do so. It's like the guy who, again, with Skyrim, he basically built a massive mod for the game. It was about the third the size, again, of the main Skyrim map. And he basically made it as a job application. He put it out there and went to Bethesda and went, look at what I can fucking do. So I think, getting paid for something like that, I don't see as a problem. I think, like you said, a lot of games released quite broken and modders kind of fixed that. I think charging for that's a bit dodgy because it's like, the only way you can play the game properly is if you pay me, because it should work out the box first time anyway.
Yeah. See, I suppose since I believe it was Friday that this whole thing was initiated, and as of recording today, Tuesday, it's fucking. Or sorry, what is it? Wednesday. As yesterday.
I didn't even notice.
Yesterday they just scrapped the whole thing, because of uproar for, I suppose, again, as I say, getting people to pay for stuff that they previously didn't have to pay for. And it is a strange situation. As I said, it's like you can put up mods and you don't have to charge for them, but there was at least 2 instances of people had found where someone had downloaded a mod for free, uploaded it for cash, and some people had downloaded the one for cash. I see, right. So it's not... Well, then that's just teething troubles the first time this happens. Do you know what I mean? Because people... Team Fortress 2 has basically paid mods in it. People can make hats and items for the game, and people can pay for it, people make a ridiculous amount of money. So it already happens and it already works. I think it perhaps needs to be policed a little bit better in this case. Well, Steam, it's a great service, and I mean, Valve are somewhat of the people's champion. People see Gabe as our Lord and Savior. Even if, I suppose in recent years, CD Projekt Red and GOG have kind of keep going up and up and up. But I don't know, see, when you talk about devs getting the money, they weren't getting the entire fucking price that they were putting up the mod for. So if they put it up for a tenner, I believe it was 25% of that they were actually making. Where did the rest go? The rest went to Valve and Bethesda. Ah, right, I see. Okay. So it's, I mean, it's not all, well, look at them, great, they're providing a service for modders to get paid. It's like, they are, but they're also taking the lion's share of the money. Yeah, because then that's also going to drive up the price of mods for the guys who make them, wanting to get a decent cut. So they might make something that was going to be a $5, a $10, so they get $2.50 instead of $1.25. Yeah. And again, it's like if you put out an album on iTunes, Apple are going to take a portion of it. Or if you put out, obviously there has to be an element where that somewhat of the fucking money go to Valve and Bethesda, I suppose. But fuck, when they're getting the lion's share, it's a little bit ropey. There was Gabe did an AMA and he was just getting downvoted to shit, and people clearly weren't happy with it. Then this week, Nailz, it was weird because Bethesda put out a statement explaining why they were charging for mods. Within about an hour or an hour and a half of that, fucking Valve went to Reddit and actually said, yeah, we're taking paid mods out of fucking Skyrim there. Oh, what? What happened there? How did you... I don't know, just that kind of weird... Did you decide in the last hour to say, yeah, fuck this? No, we won't do it, actually. I just found it strange that...
you might find it's been a prepared statement from Bethesda that's taken a couple of...
days to
a day to get through their processing kind of thing. And then you've got Steam, who, like you say, the people's champions. They are a bit more open than most like developers coming out with stuff. Like you said, Gabe did the AMA. So maybe they kind of, that was just a more like, we're just going to do this kind of thing.
Maybe. Like, I don't like, so they are taking it out of Skyrim. And I believe like anyone who paid for a mod, they're going to get reimbursed. So they're doing right by the people,
What about the people who got the money from the mods? Are they keeping it or are they
good question. That's a very good question.
I imagine they're keeping it.
I'd imagine so. I'd say Valve and Bethesda are just going to have to take the hit of however much money it is. I can't
imagine it was loads.
No, because of there being such a public backlash. Maybe they didn't make a hell of a lot of money. Like there was probably obviously a bit of money changing hands, but not a massive amount. Like, but they haven't said they're not going to do paid mods ever again. Like
no.
I suppose it's just the fact that when you're doing it with a game that's established and a modding scene that's established, that's when it gets a bit ropey. Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not like that yet. I mean, they're releasing stuff when it's out. But what about the mods how long is it before, they release this and then we get kind of a Steam Greenlight or a Kickstarter style thing for mods?
For mods. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to want to make the money for it to be like a viable thing for them to do, for someone is a modder and they get paid for that. They need to get the money kind of up front, don't they, really? Or while it's going on.
Yeah, very true.
So, yeah, because it's not necessarily going to drive up the quality of mods, like I think they kind of wanted it to, or get more people modding simply because they might make some money once it's out. Which was kind of like Bethesda's argument.
Yeah, I don't know. It's as I said earlier, I fully support people like the creators getting, if they want, a couple of pounds thrown their way. That's totally fine, especially when, as you said, like that story about the guy who fucking created a mod. What did you say? Was it a third the size of the map?
I think it was something like that, a third the size of the main Skyrim map.
Ridiculous anyway. And yeah, he actually kind of used that as effectively his CV, I suppose, and just said, look, I made this, hire me, bastards.
And I think they did as well, or someone did.
I'm sure they did. I don't know, it's a strange one, because it's like, this is so new. It came out of nowhere. That it was just going to be like, well, okay, we're charging for mods. Apparently, it was discussed at Steam Dev Days last year or something like that, which nobody pays attention to, because it's very much a kind of an industry inside just developers kind of thing. But it was discussed there, and it was kind of released just what seemed to the public on a whim, because it was just like, okay, you're gonna have to pay for mods now. I don't know. It's I suppose it's like when DLC began as well. It's a little bit strange to kind of get your head around. But in this case, it's not the actual development team that are doing it. It's just your average Joe on the street. So I don't know, Nailz. It's one to watch, I suppose. But yeah, you're kind of in favour of people getting a couple of pounds thrown their way if they're being creative, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it'll encourage people to do it a little bit more. And yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with having to pay, not massive prices. And also, it would have to be, because I think what you'll find is people will only pay for decent stuff. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, it would have
you're
to
not,
be
you're not going to get
policed,
like it's not like, well, back to Bethesda again, the horse armor for Oblivion that they got all that flack for. Like, I don't think you'll see something like that then being made paid. I think it will just be the bigger mods because they're the ones that will be worth it almost.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Metal Gear.
It's me, Mario. Do a barrel roll.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hail to the king, baby.
Nailz, even though it's just you and me today.
Oh, bollocks. I mean, yes, my favourite segment of the podcast.
We have to. We just have
we
to.
We do.
We would be doing our listeners a disservice if we didn't
I guess we can't avoid it.
If we didn't
no
have
matter
a game
who's on the podcast.
Of Guess Who, indeed. So this is the part of the show where I test the gaming knowledge of my fellow podders, or podder, and it's basically, I give 5 clues to the identity of a video game character, and you, in this case, Nailz, just solely, must guess correctly. Now, when you think you have an answer, shout out your name. Well, just tell me what you're thinking. But Nailz, still, you have to be careful because you only have 3 guesses. All right, and no looking up the answer. I trust you. I don't have to tell you that. Okay. To the victor go the spoils. Clue number 1. I first appeared in a video game in 2001. Clue number 2. In that time, I've appeared in 8 video games, with the 5th one being a self-titled effort of sorts.
A self-titled effort of sorts. Okay.
Clue number 3. I myself have split critics, with some calling me funny and some calling me annoying. I could be talking about myself there. Clue number 4. While the home console is where everything began, I have appeared on handheld systems too.
Is it Daxter from Jak and Daxter?
Nailz. I didn't even have to get to clue number 5. Dan Naylor is the winner. Well done.
Yay me.
To be fair, I did kind of cater it towards. Because I remember, I think you said that in the podcast like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, just give me a Jak and Daxter thing. I was like, all right. Clue number 5, just in case you were wondering, was I've been exclusive to the PlayStation brand since day 1, and Naughty Dog used to care about me and my body, but it seems like they're too busy with handsome treasure hunters and gritty zombie bastards now. So well done, Dan Naylor. You are the winner. Again, as we discussed last week, I would love it if someone actually did have a kind of a table telling us the current standings, although they would be skewed because of the fact that having people like you're on top probably, but you
only because I've been on most.
Maybe. I don't know. It's fucking. I don't know. But yeah, so someone out there who's listening, if you could do that and send it on to us, fucking great. All right,
it would. Cheers. We'd love it.
Yeah. So look at this, Nailz, an early podcast for the listener, a day earlier. Wonderful, aren't they? Lucky, exactly. Yeah. And because you're so lucky, and we're being so kind to you, we wish you would be so kind to us and rate and review us on iTunes, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and tell your friends and tweet and Facebook about us, just to not keep us your little secret. You can follow myself and Nailz on Twitter. Nailz is at MacShanks. I am at Colm_Ahern. And of course, the website that we do website things for, God is a Geek, is also on Twitter at God is a Geek, and on Facebook, facebook.com/God is a Geek, on YouTube, youtube.com/God is a Geek, and godisgeek.com for all of your news, reviews, opinion pieces, articles, podcasts, videos, esports, everything fucking video games related. So we didn't even talk about the Batman thing, Nailz. That's fucking a bit mental. You're paying for a game twice, sort of. I don't know.
Why didn't we talk about that?
I don't know. You could. I mean, we have time if you want to talk about it now.
You just kind of done your... Yeah, okay, fuck it, let's talk. It's going... Yeah, we have time.
We're going into overtime. Nailz, what's going on with Batman?
So they've announced the season pass for it, and is it 33 quid?
I believe so. A peculiar figure as well, 33.
Well, it is a bit strange, but that's almost as much as the game.
Yes, it is.
And that's, I mean, I hate season passes anyway. I hate this announcing DLC before a game's even out. I mean, you can pre-order the game with the season pass already. I think that's an absolute joke. If you're planning this content, just delay the game and put it in there anyway. Don't if you know what it's going to be, don't piss around with it.
Yeah, don't hold back content, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they'd announced it in 6 months' time, then it's like, okay, right, they've had 6 months to work on it and it's coming out and things. It's probably exactly the same process, but it just looks a lot better in the public eye.
Completely.
Yeah, but I mean, because it's Warner Brothers again, and they've obviously not had some great... Well, their pricing of late's been a bit dodgy because, they had the microtransactions for Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah.
Press X to buy Goro and things like that in the middle of the game. The paid fatalities. And then, we spoke about the Lego...
Lego Dimensions.
Lego Dimensions, that's what it's called. A couple of weeks ago, we didn't realise the price at the time, and I think £100 for the starter set.
That's pricey.
I saw you can get the Disney Infinity 2.0 starter set for about 30 quid in Tesco on a PS4. And they're going to... Yeah, I think it was pretty certain it was about 30 quid.
That's a fucking serious difference.
That is, and do you know what I mean? I can't see where the price difference is going to come into that. Yeah, and I don't know if parents would be... Because the other thing with Lego is you're going to lose bits of that Lego. Now, I'm assuming the core component isn't, you can't take that off and lose that. But kids playing with the other bits on there are just going to lose the other bits of Lego. So then you just have this bare pedestal to play on. Anyway, but yeah, so I think Batman's a rip-off. How about you?
I, too, think it's a rip-off because, normally the Season Pass, I suppose it's... They're kind of pricing them at maybe half the price of a game ish. Thereabouts. Like the fact that it's so fucking expensive, and it's like how much is going to be in this season pass? Is it going to be?
Well, the fact that the previous DLC for the Batman games hasn't been that much new story content.
Not at all.
Most of it has been more stealth rooms and challenge rooms.
Like you did have. Was that Arkham City that had was it Harley's Revenge? It was called something like that. It was about Harley Quinn. So there have been things, but for the most part, I know what you're saying. Yeah, just challenge rooms and stuff.
Extra
stuff
costumes
along those.
and
yeah,
things.
Exactly. Here, do you want to dress up as Adam West Batman or fucking shite like that? Whereas I don't know. I suppose the price range would make me believe that there's fucking going to be loads of content in this, but yeah, is that not content that could have fucking been in the game itself? Like, I don't know.
The thing is, how many hours of content are you going to get out of that? It's probably not going to be a lot. What else could you spend?
Out of that £33?
Yeah. For £33, you could go pick up a new copy of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
You could get... I'm trying to think of other good games. You could get Diablo 3, new as well. You could get all these games. Diablo 3, you could easily spend 100 hours in that game. Why is it not... how much value for money is this DLC going to be?
Time will tell, Nailz. Time will tell. Say goodbye, Nailz.
Goodbye, Nailz.
Say goodbye, Colm, Slán, go fóill.